Well, I'm not really sure where to start with this one. I went to the cinema not knowing a thing about this movie, other than a friend had told me that it was the most gruesome film they had seen for years, which was clearly enough to make me want to go and see it. As it turns out, I agree. Demi Moore plays Elizabeth Sparkle, an Oscar-winning actress, who after a glittering career is now hosting a TV aerobics program. But Harvey, her producer, believes that now Elizabeth has turned 50, her best days are behind her, and it's time to find a youthful replacement. When Elizabeth becomes aware of her imminent redundancy, she's distracted on her drive home from the studio and is involved in a collision. She is relatively unscathed, but as a result she ends up in hospital where a nurse slips her a USB drive that contains the information on how to obtain a product known as the substance. With the promise that the substance will create a younger, better version of you, Elizabeth decides to give it a try. She collects a starter kit from the safe deposit box and administers an activator injection, which causes her cells to divide and creates a more perfect version of herself. With the use of the substance comes a very strict set of rules, and it is stressed that they must be adhered to. Although there are two people, they are as one, and must share life on a 7-day off, 7-day on rota. While Elizabeth is unconscious for 7 days, she must be connected to a food supplement provided in the kit, and her younger self, Sue, as she names herself, must inject fluid drained from Elizabeth's spine to maintain health. Then, essentially, after the 7 days is up, they swap round, and while Sue is unconscious, Elizabeth's spinal fluid rejuvenates. As you can imagine, it doesn't take long for jealousy to creep in, and when Sue starts to break the rules, things quickly get out of hand and descend into chaos. I have really got to try not to analyse the story too much, because it wouldn't stand up to too much scrutiny. This film is about vanity and the lengths people will go to maintain youth and beauty. Although the theme of this film is a very real issue, it was very gruesome and tongue-in-cheek. It was slightly Cronenberg-esque and reminded me in some ways of The Fly. The film gets gradually more ridiculous as it unfolds, and the last 10 or so minutes were completely unnecessary, but hilarious nonetheless. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of this film. While Demi Moore and Magaret Qualley were great, the standout performance for me came from Dennis Quaid as the disgusting chauvinist producer Harvey. I really recommend this one. It was great fun. I would give it a horror score of 7 ghouls out of 10. Please go and see it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh yes, and I'll see you in hell.